Hey guys, if you are getting a pair of parrots, is it more advantageous to get 2 females, 2 males, or 1 of each? I'm going to answer and not answer that for you. Welcome to my channel. I'm Kaylin, the author of the PARROT BLISS Bond. Please be sure to get your copy on Amazon.com today. The link is down in the description, and I am wrapping up my new African Gray and Cape Parrot book so that you can get to know these species. Make sure that it's the right one for you if that's what you're getting. And that is on the last round with my editor. So hopefully that'll be available really, really soon too. And then it'll be in the description as well. If you know who this little squeaky parrot is, then maybe you know that I have been looking for a buddy for him. And in my white-capped Pioneer's case, I didn't mind whether I was going to end up with 2 females or 2 males or 1 of each. I would love for them to breed, but Pioneers are hard to breed, so I'm like, whatever. I just wanted Ale to be happy. And yesterday, my friend called, and he had a Pioneer, but they got sold to someone else. I'm not sure, like, you know, Pioneers are really hard to find. Some part of me is like, oh my. But if you're used to hanging out, you do know that this is Ale, and I appreciate that you guys are here. I love you guys. Let's get started. All right, so, where are you going? You know, the reason I'm going to answer your question and not answer your question, because someone did ask, you know, should I get 2 males, 2 females, 1 of each, is because I'm going to answer the question, but I'm not going to answer the question in the sense that it depends on the species. You know, that's just like the clencher. If we're talking Indian ringnecks, for example, 2 females I think are fine. 2 males are probably fine. 1 male, 1 female. You really have to have a big enough cage because the female is the matriarch and she can hurt the male. So that's not true for most species. And so for most species, it may not matter. It matters with kayaks. So, you know, it's like, so I'm going to answer and not answer your question, and I'm not going to go through and list all the parrot species I can think of. So 2 males, 2 females, 1 of each. 1 of each means that you are willing to possibly have babies. That's probably the most significant part. What happened? Where are you going to go? If you don't want to really deal with that, then stick with 2 males or 2 females, but do research a little on the specific species. Parrotlets, for example, are fine. 2 males, 2 females. Green-cheeked conures are the same. Now, when you have 2 males or 2 females, they will bond with each other. Sometimes, because there's exceptions to everything, sometimes they'll hate each other. Not usually. Those are species that usually you just are going to get along from the get-go kind of thing. They will bond. They will feed each other. They will preen each other. They will help each other remove the shafts on their heads, each other's head. These are some of the advantages. When I had someone say, I don't know this for a fact, they didn't cite any references, but it resonates as true to me. When you have 2 parrots together, one of the things that happens is that their well-being and their health and their ability to socialize just go up, up, up. And the person said that they heard a study where someone was with their parrot for like 10 hours a day, and it still wasn't the same as, hey, calm down. It still wasn't the same. He goes crazy when I use my hands to talk. Okay, it still wasn't the same as having 2 parrots. You are a wonderful, wonderful, interesting, exciting, you know what? I want you to think of how you think of your parrot. You think they're beautiful. You probably think they're interesting, smart, fun, curious, playful, amazing. I think that, frankly, parrots see us the same way, except on top of those things, we have treats for them. So parrots tend to be naturally curious, naturally, what are you doing, Ale? Naturally interested in us, especially if you get a parrot, you know, as a baby, or if you get a rescue or a rehome parrot that's tame. You know, a parrot that's been in the wild and that isn't tame, of course, is going to be a different story. So I'm specifically talking about those. When you have a parrot like that, having two, like I said, it means that their well-being increases. Why does it increase? Because their basic need for food, for shelter, also includes their flock. And that flock is going to provide a sense of safety and security, a sense of companionship, a sense of belonging, all the things that the truth is we as humans also need, but they need it even more. I don't know if you guys noticed, like about, 10 years ago, the idea of a tribe became really popular, and people said that's one reason social media became so popular and has grown so much, because it gives people a tribe. For example, if you're watching my video, you're into parrots, and you probably don't have 10 neighbors who are as into parrots and who you can kind of connect with, where you can post, you can, you know, ask questions, you can join, for example, my YouTube membership, hint, hint. It's awesome. I love my group so far. In addition to they're getting an extra video that's not public, they also, we meet on a private forum, which is, I really like the group. It's really dynamic. It's awesome. But anyway, without social media, we wouldn't be able to do that. We're able to attract and find a tribe that matches us. In other words, your neighbors, you can all come together and form a collective, a tribe, a flock, whatever word you want to use, but they all might have different interests. Like if you're really into parrots, or if you're really into, I don't know what, collecting Halloween teddy bears, you know, whatever the case may be, you want to connect with the people that you have something in common with, because then you have things to talk about, you have things, shared experiences, on and on. Your parrots are actually exactly the same. So when you have two, they're gonna have more of that ability. So they will also mate, just so you know. It is a form of bonding. It does not mean that your parrot is like straight or not straight. They're just parrots, and that's just how they bond. That's just how they connect. Of course, if you have two males or two females, you're not going to have fertile eggs. If you have two females, you might have eggs, but you won't have fertile eggs. Again, if you have a male and a female, the same exact thing's going to happen, but then you could have fertile eggs. So, some really huge advantages. We have our little green chiconnier, River. River is, she thinks she's human. She doesn't realize that she's actually a bird. And we were actually able to put her with another bird where she was actually bonding for the first time. We were like, oh my goodness. She's actually side by side. I don't know if they're preening each other and that kind of thing yet, but usually she fights other green chiconniers. She's not side by side sharing with them and that kind of thing. We were really thrilled. And then the turquoise baby, it's not a baby, but it's a young parrot, was supposed to be for sale, and someone inquired about a turquoise. My daughter was like, I don't want to sell the turquoise because River actually likes the turquoise and it's given me relief. I don't feel like I have to spend a lot of time with her. And the reason my daughter said that is because when it's just one parrot, your bird depends on you. So it's really, they depend on you, and you usually can't give them enough time. So you may already know that if you've hung out on my channel, you've heard me say that kind of thing. So I'm going to kind of round it off by saying this. Just because you do a pair does not mean that they won't bond with you. Again, you're fun, you're interesting, you're curious, you're all these things. When you move your hands around, you're something to fight with. Just like him, right? That's what he does when I move my hands around. So, that's a really good example. I wanted to get him a friend, a Pyonis. I was like, you know what, at this point, I don't even care if it's a different species of Pyonis, but it fell through. And I do enjoy being his buddy, but chill out. One reason is because he likes going to cafes with me. He likes going out for a walk with me, you know, and he's not the only one that I take out and about, but he's one of the ones I take out and about because he doesn't have a mate. So keep in mind that your parrot really, that's just, I commend you for asking the question, whoever's questioning that, in addition to the person that wrote me the question, because it just really makes a big difference. We do it with cats, we do it with dogs. We try to get a friend for our dog, another dog, you know, friend for our cat. And really parrots are no different. As a matter of fact, I have heard several people tell me that in Germany, they will only sell you a parrot if you either prove, I think, that you have another parrot or if you buy two. Why? For the reasons I just said. It's just really a basic need of theirs, and it can go unfulfilled, but that can lead to problems such as plucking, such as an unhappy parrot, a more biting parrot, a louder parrot, you know, things like that, because at that point they're not as happy and they're not as emotionally balanced, and it affects them physically as well. Thank you for asking the feathered video. Now we're off. If you have any questions or comments, please comment below. Be sure to like if you enjoyed the video. It always helps my juice. And I always appreciate the super thanks. I'll catch you in the next video where Olive is hiding. See you next time.